I'm alive now. How are you all? Welcome to DAS TV. Remember to like and subscribe, and of course, like, subscribe, and comment, and as well to subscribe to the Saint
What?
LFCTV. We've been doing a couple of good things with Nick in the last couple of months. Obviously we've been on a lot of podcasts. Nick, we've been on James Redmond TV doing the LFC talk show. Who I've been taught that James of late is dying to get it back on. Let's say so. That should happen
I've
soon
been,
enough. The last time I think we talked was the quiz, wasn't it?
yeah. All right. The less said about that, the better. Let's just move on
Yeah,
nicely
yeah.
with it. Now I was getting my
Yeah.
ass handed to me by Conroy and Daz Watts. Good stuff, man. We've
Ah,
done.
no, it was
We've got.
close call in the end. There was very little in it. How are you keeping, Nick? And anyway, how's things, buddy?
Yeah, man. Not bad. Not bad. I'm doing pretty well. The sun's kind of intermittent up here. So
Yeah,
as it probably is over there for yourself as well. But no, I'm in good spirits.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
all to play for. We've got. I'm in better spirits now than, let's say, things had gone against us, and I'm like, oh, like now, everything to play for. Tomorrow's really exciting. So yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it.
really looking forward to it. Well, I seen coming into this game, Roy Hodgson and Jurgen Klopp have went head to head, and the 6 times that they have, Klopp has won all 6. So obviously that's a good omen going into tomorrow's game. Well, we hope it
Yep.
is, and it's a grandstand finale, isn't it? Really, a cup final, Liverpool against Palace, all to play for. They've nothing to play for. The most they can get, I think, is 12th if Wolves lose. But obviously, we want to get into the top 4. Third, there's even talk of that might happen, but I'm not gonna start being too
Preempting
optimistic or
that.
too positive. Yeah, preempt that. No,
Yeah.
look, I'll take a win. I think tomorrow it's all about just get them 3 points. It doesn't matter how it happens, what way it happens. If it has to go, hopefully not to the 95th minute again with Allison, but it's all about just get those 3 points tomorrow. Let's get into that top 4, because we all feel, and I know it's going to be a crucial summer market ahead for us, and I think this will be pivotal whether we get top 4 or not. But we're on a
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
run of form
Definitely.
late, mate. 1-4 out of 4 performances away at Burnley and Old Trafford. I thought were very professional, very compact, composed, and it's looking good for us, isn't it, going into this last game of the season?
Yeah, man. It's looking very good for us, man. It's looking very good for us. Saying to you off air, obviously, I'm an old boy, and I've been supporting Liverpool for quite some time, and I know generally the makeup of our club will love to make things harder than it has to be. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Give you a little bit more drama and intensity than it needs to be. But hopefully,
yeah,
especially with Klopp, that's behind us, and we just go out there and take care of business. I would hate to be in a position where we're sitting there biting our nails, waiting for results, waiting for Tottenham, or do you know what I mean? Let's just go out there, get the job done. Like we know that we have. I like the fact that we know exactly what we need to do. We win this game, win the top 4. Do you know what I mean? We win
yeah,
it well,
yeah,
and like you said, options are open to us. So let's just go out there and smash it. So yeah,
yeah.
man,
Of
I'm in a
course.
good.
Yeah, it's looking good, and it's going to be another big competitive challenge for Nat Van Dijk, Cam as you like, Nat Phillips. He's coming up against Benteke, Zaha. Not going to be easy, but I mean, the journey he's had so far, Nick. I mean, as I said on another stream before, if we all went about life the way he did, like, I mean, a proposed move to Swansea didn't happen for him, a scholarship to America didn't happen for him. His attitude, his discipline, work rate, it's all being there. And if we all approach life the way he did, 9 out of 10 of us would come out into our end, be just so
Succeed.
successful.
Trust
It's
me.
and we all
Trust
love a
me.
story, but a fairy tale ending would be unbelievable. And I mean, for him to be a pivotal partner, getting into the top 4, where I have maybe yourself, I'm not sure, as Reuters out top 4. When really the going got tough and it was backs against the wall for us. But that's some story, isn't it, alone, and Nat Phillips?
I think you've hit the nail bang on the head. I don't know the lad personally, but I know his attitude. I know how he prepares himself. And like you said, if we all kind of took a little bit of that from him, mate, we'd be flying. I mean, like you said, to have been, you know who looks like mugs? You know who looks like absolute mugs? Stuttgart.
Stuttgart, yeah, yeah. They
Stuttgart look
do
like,
now, yeah, yeah, they
mate,
do.
what was he doing? You had a diamond in a rough, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But no, honestly, getting loaned out and not really having any type of clear path into the first team, so much so that you're having to kind of look after. Even that in itself is something to look at and actually
yeah,
like and give kudos. He looked around and said, you know what, it's not maybe not working for me. I'm maybe going to try and do something else. And do you know what I mean? And try and who does that? Like, do you know what I mean? Who actually
yeah,
sits there and says, I'm gonna, and all the while he had all the talent that he ever needed. He just needed a little bit of a breakthrough. It's funny that, do you know what I mean? And now he's come in, he's grabbed his opportunity with both hands. He's an absolute. I don't like shout out a man like Shawnee, because
Man
Shawnee
like
knows
Shawnee,
like.
yeah. There's a couple of the lads there in the comments. Duffer as well, Greg Duff. He actually has a cousin that I think played for Burnley. He's one of the lads out
Okay,
work. Jersey boy as well. Oh, Campione. Well done, lads.
come
Thanks for the
on,
comment.
Jersey boy, and that.
Jamie
But
Lane in
no,
there as well.
man like Shawnee's one of them ones where we both spoke offline and thought,
Yeah,
let's not get too carried away. Do you know what I mean? But we've actually been like, you know what? Everything aside, this guy is a player in his own right. Do you know what I mean? Like he is a player. He knows his limitations. He don't try and do too much. He's not your D. You know what he is? He's a throwback to real old school CBs. Not your Ruben Diaz's, or not even your Van Dijks. You know what I mean? But just get it in where I need to be, and I'll clear it off my head. I won't dilly dally on the ball. His positional sense is getting better. I've just got so much great things for him. And let's be honest, let's be honest, mate. Without this guy, what state would our season be, man? Like, do you know what I mean? He has kind of single-handedly.
Europa Conference will be fighting forward Arsenal and Tottenham, I think. And I think I said it on one of the games before. I think it was on the COP TV after game. It's a very Jamie Carragher-esque, isn't he? Type of centre back. Where it's no nonsense defender, gets stuck in, just the basics right. He's not technically brilliant, isn't the quickest, and doesn't come with a lot of skill. But I mean, what he's adding, and something that Carragher didn't, he's adding goals. He's particularly at Old Trafford of late, he was, let's say, not a fault, but when Fernandes gets it in his positions a bit wrong, head could easily try for someone so inexperienced. He comes back down the other there and plays a very composed, compact, professional performance that night. Going to Old Trafford, where it's not easy for anybody going there. Like, whatever we think of them, our friends and rivals, and we have a bit of obviously bitterness against them, but they've had a good season this season. And I've seen as well that we could end this season probably only 17 points behind City, who we finished, was it 18 or 19 ahead of last season. There, he missed one centre back. So maybe this season, if all goes well and we win tomorrow, mightn't be as bad as some of us anticipated a couple of weeks ago. But the latter stage of the season, when the going gets tough and you need wins and you need big performances, the lads have produced, and they have. Where, like, it summed up for me going into the game against United, we hadn't had a game in 2 weeks and we 4 injuries. That for me summed up the season and all the factors, and considering everything that's unfolded for us to still be in. And people probably say, well, 4th place, look, I mean, it's like going back to years ago where you're celebrating 4. But when you consider the factors of how things have went with us this season, Thiago coming in out injured, never seen the best of him. We've had so many injuries this season. COVID's had a huge impact. And we're the club based on emotions. Jurgen Klopp is based on emotions. This group of players are based highly on emotions. And when we're missing fans at games, it's probably impacted us. We've been one of the clubs that impacted probably the most. And I have a friend to support United, and he said to me, United have probably benefited the most out of not having fans this season. And that's why they went that bit more. And they've came from him. So it's been such a roller coaster journey, hasn't it, this season?
100%. 100%. I think you're exactly right. You've hit the nail on the head on a couple of points in which you said. But this, let me make no qualms about it. People are talking about celebrating. If we get 4th, listen, the world can't have. There's no way we can come 3rd. There is no way. I will be obnoxious. You'll think that we won the Premier League or something, because this was our worst we've been in some time. We had the worst champions, and you lot are awful, and do you know what I mean? We were really bad and really having to deal with some torrid times. When that's all said and done, to be touching distance with Man United, like you said, only like just maybe 14, 15 points behind City, who, let's be honest, haven't been great the whole season. They really turned it on from January. Do you know what I mean? And that's when we kind of had our kind of bad luck. It would have been, when you really sit down and everything's context, everything is context. And when you sit down and you look at the season in which we've had, and you think, bloody hell, after all of that, they came 3rd or 4th. It spells a very very, very scary time for us. Like, if they actually had a bench that could do something and they kept some of their pivotal players fit, mate, we would have pushed City to. I'm not saying we would have won, but we would have pushed them, and Man United wouldn't even be in the place they're in. So I'm in a very good place in terms of that. I know where we're at and why we're there. I will celebrate a fourth place. Like I think it will be probably one of Klopp's biggest achievements in the club since he's come. If he can steer us into the Champions League, given the COVID and no fans and Van Dijk and Henderson's still out. People forget. People like Henderson are still out. Like, it is crazy. We didn't have a senior CB in our ranks. we got Kabak, and Kabak's fighting for fitness. It's ridiculous. Like, even when you look at it, I will celebrate top four like it's an absolute. It's the best thing ever. So yeah, man, bring it on.
It'd be great to get the spine the team back, not just centre backs, but the spine the team. Which, if you take a spine out of any team, I remember the year Leicester won the league. They won it because they had such an unbelievable spine. This season, you're missing three main centre backs. You've missed Alisson for a lot of the season. We had Trent out injured, partially for only small bits. Fabinho, who is Henderson to play a centre back. So all these can factor. Like, Liverpool is like a machine. It runs really well, but when you have one or two
100%.
bits missing out of it, it's completely, knackered. And that's how we've been under Jurgen Klopp. But it's the first time that we played Palace since we beat them 7-0. It was all yup, 7-up. We were top of the league. We were favourites to win the league that day. Naby Keita played his part. Minamino was scoring goals, and we flourished that day. The win was brilliant. And Crystal Palace weren't really bad that day, if you remember. We just suffocated them, and they got a good start to the game. So how it's all changed since that was just going in before Christmas. Then obviously we went on, we played, I think it was West Brom, Newcastle, Southampton, dropped a lot of points there, and then the going got really tough, and we just lost momentum, confidence, belief. As you said, injuries, Jota out. There were so many factors that went against us, and it's just been an unbelievable season, such a roller coaster, high of emotions, and being a lot of lows this season. When you look back at the Villa game, like conceding 7 there, then beating Palace by 7. And I remember that day, I was out that day with a couple of lads thinking, we're going to win it this season. It's not going to be easy, but we've enough to do it this season without Van Dijk. But how premature was that to say? Because sometimes you forget the Rolls Royce Van Dijk, how world class he is and how good he is, how he makes the best out of everybody else. You know, we heard Troy Deeney talking about he comes out with the perfume on him and how good smell well Van Dijk does. You know what I mean? So he's just a presence. He's just a role model, a Rolls Royce. Gomez has been brilliant. Matip has been brilliant for all the injuries. We've had so many injuries. You even look at Naby Keita, who I thought finished a strong end to last season. He's been injured for so much of this season. His availability has been shocking. And it's come to a point now where we have to really look at, we said, the last injury he got, the specialist took that time bringing him back, and we thought, you know, his time has been given to him here to come back. The injury's been excess more, and he's been given that bit more time to come back. But he's still getting injuries. It's just not happening, Nick. And I believe coming into this weekend's game now, again, he's injured, and that's just it's bad form, isn't it? Availability is key, really, and it's something that Bobby Firmino, as bad as sometimes he's been this season, he hasn't been clinical and stuff, but he's kept himself available. His attitude, his discipline, his work rate, it's all being there. And that's what I like about Bobby. He's kept smiling, got on with it. And now as the season's coming to a fold, you can see how pivotal he's been. He's getting goals, assists, but he's putting in a shift. He's the captain's armband at West Brom, which is great to see. Alisson gets that goal. It was unbelievable, but it's just been strange, and this has topped it all off what I'm talking about now, hasn't it? But it's the first time since we played them 7-0, so there's no pressure at all on Palace. There's nothing to play for, surely.
No, this is what scares me, if I'm honest with you, is because we beat them 7-0 at their gaff. They're coming here. So you know what I mean. They haven't got any fans. It's Roy Hodgson's last game. So they want to kind of give him something to send him off for. Like you said, they haven't got anything in the league to play for. It's an absolute free hit. If they lose this, if they lose by 7 again, no one really says anything. Do you know what I mean? So it's an absolute free hit, and you know sometimes under that the pressure's off. Do you know what I mean? And you actually get to play the type of football in which you might not because of other factors. So that does scare me. And I know what Liverpool are like. I know the Burnley game, though it ended 3-0, that first half was frustrating, bro. You know, the first half of the first half was frustrating, man. And you know, like I just don't want that. And then what, 60 minutes, 70 minutes, we're still trying to break through, and it's like, so let's not sit here and completely just be like, listen, no. You know, I've got one word that I don't even know if I should say it, but Istanbul. Do you know what I mean? Like there's things
Istanbul,
that
yeah.
Gerard's last game. There are things that this team,
Yeah.
it's not. Do you know what I mean? We're gonna have to be serious about it.
We're
But
gonna have to be, yeah.
oh come on, we're gonna have to be. We're gonna have to make sure that we've actually got
It's a
our.
cup
Do you know
final,
what I mean?
isn't it?
100%. But we have enough. Sorry, no. I was just gonna say we
go
have
ahead.
enough to come out of this, man, and that's pretty much it, man.
And we need, as I said, we need to come out of this with nothing other than a win. Big up to Mitchell Balzan there, Gini Wijnaldum leaving is criminal, and yeah, it is, isn't it? We've talked about it in other streams before, Nick, myself, yourself, Conroy, and James. And I mean, what's your opinion with possibly the farewell now tomorrow will be for Gini Wijnaldum?
I think Genie's been an absolute staple. He's been an absolute gentleman in terms of his performance and what he's done within the team. There's some accolades that we wouldn't even have without him. Let's have it right. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I do think that coming towards the end of his tenure, I feel like the road isn't as smooth as it possibly could have done. And I don't actually put it mainly on him. I put it on us as a club. I feel as a club, we have mismanaged him a little bit. We as a club, we have to look at ourselves. As a club, with someone who has given as much as they have for the club, we should never be in a position with him and his contract talks having the need to play him as much as we do. That's criminal. That's not his fault. He don't pick himself. Do you know what I mean? Like us still having that onus on him is criminal. Him wearing the captain's armband is criminal in where he is in his professional. Do you know what I mean? With he's clearly looking around for another deal because he's a human being. He has the Euros. Gini is a very big part of that Euros, that Netherlands team. He has the Euros. He's not going to be wanting to. How bad would it be if he picked up a really bad injury now? Like, do you know what I mean? Just on a human level.
Yeah, it'd be unbelievable.
That'll be shocking. That'll be devastating. So I get that, but that is on us as Liverpool. We should never be putting him in that position. We should be massaging. If that's what we've come to as a club, bro, we just don't have the funds, or we just don't think that you're quote unquote worth the new deal. Then you massage him out of the club accordingly, and it's done. Do you know what I mean? Right. But
still more respectful, absolutely.
Done more respectfully. You're not going to give him you're not going to give him what he wants. I'm not going to sit here and start going into whether that's right or not. As a club, we've decided that it's not going to work for us. Fine, but you deal with that a lot better. And it hurts me. It hurts me to now have him in a position where you're having Alisson scoring 95-minute goals, and he just looks like he doesn't give a toss. Do you know what I mean? You're having Nat Phillips scoring headers, and he just can't be asked. And that. I have to then look at that like, oh, mate, man. Like, but I'm not going to put it all on him. Like I said, our Liverpool have mismanaged that situation a lot. But I said all of that to say, listen, I will be sad to see him go, and I do think it will be quite emotional. But I do think that it's probably time.
Yeah. And look, it's mad because, again, kind of like Andy Robertson came from a relegated team, came into Liverpool, I think it was 25 million. A couple of people had questions to ask. Well, if we want to start making the big time now, do we really need players like this come relegated team? But he's developed as a world-class player in the tenure of being a Liverpool player, and he's also, I would say now, probably in the prime of his career. He's unbelievable what he does defensively going forward, just the confidence he has and that will to win, that desire. And I think tomorrow he will play. I think it's probably going to be a Fabinho, Thiago, Gini midfield, which seems to be our strongest and where we get the most wins with, because of his experience as well. But there's a lot of people saying, well, maybe 30, 40, 50 million will get you a replacement, but it would be just cheaper to pay him the money, wouldn't know what he needs, and keep him. But I don't know whether it's just a money thing or what it is, or whether it could be just the simple factor of, even though I don't think it is, of Gini, a few years at Liverpool, he's no real affiliation with the club, doesn't have to stay there long term, achieved a couple of things, brought that first elusive league title, played a big part in it, as well as a European Cup, by the way, which is huge for all of us. The World Club Cup, he was one of the big stars at the first one the club ever won. You remember the great teams in the 70s, 80s, and never went on to win it. So it could be just a part of, look, I want to go to Barca or go somewhere else, change your life, change the scenery, move on with the family. It's a development in his career. But I think he would be going to Barca and just firefighting, putting out fires there. Messi's going to go. I know there's talk about Guerrero going there, but financially they're in ruins and they're just not the club that they once were. And I don't ever think in the next couple of seasons they'll get there where they once were. So look, I don't know. It's a good point there, Marshall Ayoub's putting in the comments there. I feel like our fans sleep on Genie and forget what he has been doing for us. Definitely deserves a contract extension. And yet, Marshall, me and Nick do agree with that. We think,
No, I agree.
suppose we've done a poll. Most fans would say the same. So, look, I think it will be farewell tomorrow.
What it is that sometimes, especially in the time that we're living in, it's a very now microwave age, and recency bias does have a big bearing. And a lot of fans, only see as far as they know, or the last game or the last 2 games or 3 games. But generally, if you're speaking to someone who really knows, like Genie has been absolutely integral in the way in which we play. And I would say that I wouldn't be upset if we gave him a contract extension, because I feel like Dad said, he's in the absolute prime of his life, and I think that Genie is a instructions player. You tell Genie exactly what to do, he'll do it. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like if he wanted something else, if he wanted something else from him, I think he'll do it. However, the way in which maybe Klopp sees him and uses him, I am open to maybe having a different, because without all the injuries and everything else, some of our play has seemed quite flat. It has seemed quite uninspirational at times. And I do think that there is a little bit of a shake-up. And so if he's going, it will give us an opportunity to maybe get someone who isn't a Genie 2.0, but can offer us something a little bit different, perhaps. You know what I mean? So,
I think you're right there. A lot of our performances this season being very diluted. It's a bit like the lemonade without the fizz sort of thing. We've just been too pedestrianised. We've been a bit pessimistic and a lot of sideways passing, and we've just at times looked so flat, and particularly I go back to those 6 games at Anfield where we didn't score, lost all 6, and it's mad because
we lost all 6, Daz, by 1 goal.
Yeah,
we didn't.
Yeah.
How we lost all 6 of those games. 1 goal, like, come on, man.
I think there was nearly 200 shots this season at Anfield, and we only got a couple of late goals. There wasn't even many, and one of those was a penalty against City where they really spanked us, didn't they, in the 4-1 loss? But look, I mean, we move on from all that. Times now, we've won 4, speaking of 4, which they did beat us 4-1 that day, we've now went on and won 4 out of 4. Tomorrow could be 5 out of 5, which would be great. It's a nice, strong end to the season. It's a nice consecutive run we're going on, considering what we're going through. And I think the front 3, apart from maybe minus Mane, you'd say, I think Salah and Firmino have offered us a lot midfield being better. But Thiago's peaking at the right time, isn't he? I mean, we talked about Thiago coming in. I said at the time it was probably the best signing for a player that is just probably our best signing since Torres, ready-made player. Suarez, when he came, probably wasn't even as ready-made. But I think back in 2007 when we signed Torres, he was ready-made the time for in. And I thought the same with Thiago. And then he had a bit of a slow start. He got COVID. But he's been inspirational, hasn't he, in the last few games? And it's been very Bayern Munich-esque type of performance from him.
Oh, mate, he's been absolutely... Shout out, Doug, man. He's been absolutely brilliant, man. Brilliant. Yeah. I don't know if you spotted this as well. I'm talking to Daz. I know you spotted it. But it's you see the way in which he's allowing Fabinho to do another role. Like before, it's been very conventional. Fabinho, you're the DM. You sit in front of the defense. You help them out. You bring the ball up certain way, and then do you know what I mean? And it's been quite structured. And then if you're not there, then we get Genie to do that. And do you know what I mean? But now with Thiago, he is very much playing that kind of Bayern Munich role where he's like, you know what? I've got this. I can be the deep lining quarterback. I can, do you know what I mean? I can sweep up, which is allowing Fabinho to go, oh, okay, you know what? Because let's be honest, Fabinho he brings the ball up well. He's got a nice little dink of a pass and stuff. And then they can, I've just been watching the two of them just interchange and playing that 2 kind of, I thought, like, he's sick, man. Yeah. The way he's able to spread the ball like butter, like flora. He's just going to come into himself. It is absolutely criminal to have that type of a player playing Conference League or Europa League. I'm just so happy that we have him in the competition that he needs to be in. And trust me on this, he's picking up something next season. Something.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's been so good now of late. When we've needed the most, he's just grabbed the game and he's just went about it. And I love his confidence and his swagger. Even just the look about him, he just has that player that's a winner. And it's just phenomenal. I'm delighted to have him, and he's peaking at the right time. And if we get in that top 4, Nick, that's going to be huge. And I think this top four run in, Trent, Nat, Fabinho, Thiago, Bobby have all been brilliant, and Salah obviously scored. But look, I've come to accept with Mo, he'll miss the most easiest of chances, but the chances that it's just not going to happen, it's impossible he does, and I think we have to accept that. But what a player, and he's got a golden boot.
But it's like Salah to like get this far and then maybe not score tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? It's like Salah, come on, man.
He needs it. If he gets possibly 2 tomorrow, it's safe, because I don't know whether Kane will score against Leicester, but both of them, if they could share it, don't they? If it ends on 22 each.
Yeah. They could share it like they did. Remember, the Africans did it. Mane, Salah, Aubameyang did it a couple of seasons ago. But I mean, with his importance within our team this season, Salah gets a lot. I don't deservedly so, I think, but he gets a lot of criticism. And I don't think he's had a great season, but he has, without a doubt, in our front line, been the shining light. I just feel like, bro, go and get what you truly deserve. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I don't want to see selfish Salah, like that's one-track minded, but go out there and just put the ball in the back of the net. And do you know what I mean? And I feel that when he does that, he himself will relax and we'll get the best out of him. He'll know, like, oh, I've got this. Do you know what I mean? But I can see us winning maybe 3-0 and Salah don't get no score sheet, because I just know
that's just what he'll do. Ox, we have to speak about. Come on, Gerard Knight, good cameo performances. We've seen a couple of those of late where he's come on. He's been one way dimension, going for goal, very creative, but coming with a good bit of pace, doesn't look rusty at all. One thing I can praise about the Ox is his attitude, his discipline to come back from all those injuries and setbacks he's had. We know of late, we've seen on social media, he's going to be a father. Took his goal well against Burnley. Is there a future for Ox, do you think, Nick, or are we just being too optimistic about it? Because he's played very little football this season. And by the way, I think him, Origi, Shaqiri, I think I've seen a stat that who's come off the bench for Liverpool this season, anybody that's come off and have been impact players haven't scored apart from Jota. So he got a goal, John, which was good. And you can see there's a bit of confidence there with him, but he's still at a good age, isn't he? Late, I think he's 27, 28, so he can offer a lot, but can we hold on to him? And
I think, to be very honest with you, that was a very good stat that you said, and I think that might be the reason. No one's come off the bench and scored. And when I've seen him come off the bench, Ox offers something that no other person offers, even Naby. Like, do you know what I mean? No one offers that real drive and can get a goal. And it's hurt me because it's that very thing from Ox that we haven't seen when he's come on. And so I'll be very honest with you. I've been like, why are you bringing him on? You're bringing him on. I know why you're bringing him on, but the very reason of what you're looking for him to do, he's not doing, due to lack of confidence, due to whatever the case may be. And it started to really frustrate me. So to then see him do what exactly he was brought on to do, that we know Ox to do you know what I mean? Looking like he's going to create space. No, he's not. He's shifting it. Bang. That's Ox, bro. That is Ox. Do you know what I mean? No one brings more of a goal threat from that midfield area than Ox. He's an absolute leg man. However, I'm going to be very honest with you. We talk about Nat Phillips's attitude. I think we have to put some respect on Ox's name and his attitude. At 27 years old, please, when you just for shits and giggles, go on Google and look at his injury list. Honestly, shocking, mate, it's enough to put hairs on my face. And he comes back every single year. There's people, I think it was Joe Gomez, who said when he was out, it was Ox who was like, bro, you're all right. You're going to be back. Like, we'll help you. We'll get you in. That mentality is ridiculous. But the nature of the injuries, I think, has probably got, has probably done the, it's got the best of him. I think in terms of where we're looking to be as a club, that's what hurts me, because I definitely think that Ox, there's space for Ox as a bench player, as an impact player. But in terms of where we're looking to be, I probably think we could probably get someone a little bit more impactful. And I also think that Ox would do better in a club where he's slightly a bigger fish, if you know what I mean. So for both of us, I think Ox is at that stage where if he was at a Southampton or he was at a Tottenham or at Everton, you know what I mean, he would you would really see the best of him. And I do think that we could probably free up that space for someone who could be a little bit more impactful. But I love Oxman, and I wouldn't be sad if we don't get rid of him and he's coming in and he's doing that. Do you know what I mean? Because
I think we'd be all. I agree with you. We'd be more sad to see him leave than if he stayed on. Yeah, absolutely. A couple of the comments in there, Nick. A few people giving you a shout out. Jamie Lane, are you guys still friends?
We had a big falling out, mate. That's we have a big falling out, and now I don't want to see it now. Only messing, mate. Only messing. I love these guys. We are still very much friends, and it's just a lot of streams, a lot of work, and that's all it is, man.
Yeah. We're all winding down now at the latter stages of the season, Jamie. But no, we will be. I was in contact with James lately. He's looking to get the LFC talk show back on, so keep an eye out for that soon.
Actually, sorry, Daz. Very quickly, let me plug something. You know what? Mate, it's actually due to some technical difficulties. I would have had this out last night. But I've got a preview for the Crystal Palace game, and I've managed to round up pretty much any and everyone that makes Liverpool content. I've got your boy Daz. Daz is on there, and Conroy's on there. Everyone's on there. That'll be coming out in about an hour. So, mate, we're all still very much friends, and we're all
tune in, everybody. Working. Tune over to Saint and Nick and the Saint LFCTV. Everybody, would be great to. I'm actually looking forward to that. I got it in lastminute.com. And what did you say back to me, Nick? A bit like Liverpool leaving it to lastminute.com.
Trust me, I was like last minute winner. Hopefully, do you know what I mean? But that'll be very. I'll get that up as soon as I finish this. I'll get that up. So yeah, man.
Couple of comments there coming in. Palace, come on, you Reds. JFFC, yes. Channon, Daz, how you doing? I'm good, Channon. Yeah, all good in the hood, brother, and no hassle.
My young G, Channon.
And of course, no trouble in the bubble. Due to Toby, Palace game will be tough because it's Hudson's last game. Roy Hodgson, as they will want to let him go on a win. Yeah, that's true. And he once was Liverpool manager. I know it was a 6 month stint and it wasn't good, was it? He brought in a couple of bad signings, and he's just, I think one of his first interviews, he'd mentioned something about Alex Ferguson. It didn't really go down well. I can't actually remember what it was, but it was.
I can't remember either. But
I know they're good friends, but it didn't work out for him. And then obviously the return of King Kenny got us that League Cup. Suarez played a pivotal part in that.
Thank you, Marshall, man. Much appreciated, bro.
Yeah, Saint, one of the very few. Yeah, brilliant. Doing a lot of great content. Saint reached out to me a couple of months ago and I got on, done a few streams, and he's killing it. You're doing some great stuff there.
I'm not gonna lie, guys.
It's great to see.
I'm probably gonna take a little bit of onus on the fact that Daz. It was probably me. I was Daz, get the channel started, mate. Get the channel started, mate.
Yeah, he
Daz,
was. Yeah,
get the channel started, mate. And do you know what I mean? I'm here, so.
Yeah, no, there was a few people like yourself. You were advocating it a lot, Nick. So it was great to get a start. I just said I'd put it out there and see, and I got great feedback. And there's people always tuning in. This is the full stream, so
we love you guys, man.
To get Nick on.
You, come on.
And likewise, Saint LFC is just a nice man. That's lovely, yeah.
Come on, Channing, my young G. Come on.
3-1 Liverpool. Yeah, good shout out. Hopefully, I take that. I take 2-1. 1-0 last minute, but I don't want to live through a full game of nerves again. So I suppose, Nick, I did say to you, I'm going to ask you a question of who has been your best Liverpool player this season and why. I know it's not an easy one. I know there's been so many ups and downs this season. There's been so many players in form at times, then out of form, and then there's just been players that have been consistently out of form for different reasons, whether it's injury or what have you. I think Naby Keita would certainly come into that. I love Naby Keita. He's been an unbelievable footballer, but I think in the 3 seasons he's been at us, I think there might have been a stat where Xavi Alonso made more appearances in 1 season than he has in 3, and it just doesn't make good reading, does it? Availability for us this season has been key. So anybody that's been available, we see that the attitude has been good and they've conducted themselves, and they've just been amazing in terms of that they've been very patriotic towards the club. But Naby this season, unfortunately for him, it just hasn't worked out for him. When he's played, we can see glimpses of what he's about and what he can do. And that's why I know he's been one of the players that's let me down this season. Jamie Lane saying Nat Phillips there. But who's been yours, Nick, and why would you pick them?
All right, so my player of the season, yeah, mate, trust me. I'm going to be very honest with you. I actually think his performances in the last 2 games have been below his standard. But without this guy and his being able to be put in different positions, I honestly don't know if we would be where we are. So And anyone that watches my channel knows how much I love this guy. I pretty much base my look on him.
I think I know where we're going at now. Yeah,
yeah, come
Brazilian.
on, mate, Brazilian.
Yeah,
Trust me.
that freak physique.
Has to be my man, Flacco. My
Flacco.
man, Flacco has to be. He has to be my player of the season, because in terms of Fabinho, that by the way, Fabinho, for anyone that don't know,
Flacco.
He is an absolute beast as a DM. Best
in the world, I'd say.
I just had to make sure. I had to look. Best in the world.
You get good goals from there as well. He got a crack against Palace last year.
Come on, City. We all know. He is an absolute beast in that position. And then due to the fact that we had obviously, our defensive woes, we just pulled him back for a large part of this season. We even forgot what he was doing in DM because we just saw him as this CB. And then when he was there, he's playing alongside Nat Phillips, he's playing alongside Kabak, he's playing alongside Henderson, he's playing alongside Matip, and he was a beast. I was saying to people, mate, he's top 3 centre backs this season. Like, do you know what I mean? To the point where we just totally even forgot the importance. Then we put him back, and then we're like, oh my God, our win ratio since he's been back as DM, impeccable. And I did say, listen, like, he hasn't been great in the last 2 games, but his presence there has been an absolute so yeah, with no further ado, my player of the season, Fabinho, bad boy Flacco.
He's heard it here first, yeah. Now, look, I can't disagree with you, because he's been the one player that's been available for us all season. He's even played a centre-back away at Ajax with Reece Williams, a centre-back, to print a good shift, 1-1 We kept a lot of clean sheets at the start when he played there, and we did forget how good he was, and we just took it for granted that he can play centre-back. So I think if this award is going out to anybody this season, which I'm sure it will, the club will do something, it has to be Fabinho, because he's just been integral this season, and for him to chop and change in positions and centre-back, playing DM, who he's done a fine job there for us. And look, it doesn't surprise me tomorrow he again pops up with another world-class goal against Palace and puts in an unbelievable shift. But he's been the man for us this season. He's been a rock there, and in some ways I don't know whether he's been underrated, but people just probably don't give him enough credit, and I think that's because his change of position, because he's not in that one position. And Liverpool's gain has probably been a little bit of his downfall, because we know he wants to play in that position. He doesn't want to be playing centre-back. But at times he was our most senior, our most best centre-back. And he would have, Nat Phillips, I think, is where he is now because of him. I think even Reece Williams has developed a bit of his game, even though he is a bag of nerves at times. But they're all coming out to be better and integral because of him. So when you look into it and you go into the ins and outs, I don't think you can disagree with that, Nick. I probably would have, if I was going probably with typical Liverpool fans, I'd probably be going for the goals like Salah, who I think again has been brilliant. He showed up this season, and again he's kept himself available. He's just smiling, he's getting on with it, he's dug in deep. Nat Phillips, a shout out as well. Jamie Lane said that. I can't disagree with that. But there's been a few really outstanding players. But I think consistently from the start right to now, Fabinho has been our man. And yeah, Jamie Lane said there, Jones coming through was best thing this season. Absolutely. And I said that before, and you said it as well, Nick. No matter what happened this season, the positives were young Courtis, what a player he's going to be. And I think it's a little bit disappointing to not see him playing as much now as what we have seen him. But I think Klopp has made peace with, he's a future at the club. He showed me enough that I'm going to use the other lads, like Keita, Thiago, players that there was a little bit of question marks around that need to go up to speed. Fabinho and that midfield, and Gini obviously finishing off. So I do think Jonesy will play a big part in us going forward and be massive for the club. And it's great, a local lad, isn't it, with Trent in there playing and doing his dues. You know what you'd expect him to be. I'm not saying Phillips should go to Euros, but he deserves a shout. Yeah,
JFFC, I am. Oh, bro, say it in the chest. I am saying that, bro. Like, come on, man. If you're putting people like Eric Dyer on the plane, Phillips deserves to go.
Yeah, and Trent. But I haven't saying that. I'm happy if Liverpool players do stay back and they get to have a proper pre-season. You know, I'm not a big international next season.
Exactly that. I just know what it would do for someone like Phillips. You know what I mean? Like his family. Yeah. That's what. But you're right. In terms of other than that, mate, stay home, get pre-season. Do you know what I mean? Sign a new contract extension. Let's move.
Shannon, that's a good shout out. And the reason why I won't get into that is, and you're probably the same, Nick, is because we've still a game to go. And I just want to give some of the lads a bit of respect that I don't want to say who's going to be out in the summer and who isn't. I think the obvious choices are, we all know off the top of our head who's going to probably be leaving. But I don't know who's going to come in. I think that's a big one. Will we really go big and massive and be all surprised? Or will it be typical FSG to kind of do shrewd signings but could be good players? I've seen lately it's hard on social media. We're linked and report to sign so many players. We know we're not going to sign all of them, but some of them could be true. Who would be your summer signing, Nick? I think for me, priority is in number 9, isn't it? From what we've all seen this
100%.
season.
100%.
Would there be anyone in particular?
Let me just say, Shannon's been on me on social media. He's been bugging me like, yo, and I've been swerving the question. I've been swerving.
Yeah,
Shannon,
yeah.
I'm going to give you the respect in which this question is due. But like Dad said, it's just very hard to know who's coming in. Or let's just get tomorrow out of the way, and then I'll give you a proper a lineup and backup.
And likewise, Shannon, I will too.
Likewise
as well, I will too.
You have been on me, man, and I will get that. But acquisitions, Daz, you hit the nail bang on the head, mate. And number 9, it's just, Daz, I don't know how many affordable number 9s. Okay, I'll say this very quickly, right? Because I put this on Coppish. I've been saying, right, we need a number 9, we need a number 9, we need a number 9. When I look at it, I don't really know that many affordable. So it's got to be affordable and he's got to have an impact. Do you know what I mean? I don't want someone who's going to come in and then, may score. We need someone to clear up those chances that we're not clearing up at the moment. I don't know of any real number 9. Even Mbappe don't want to play number 9, right? It's got me thinking, why don't we just carry on playing the way in which we play, right? Our onus is on our wingers. Do you know what I mean? Our inverted wingers. And then, the number 9 can... So I'm like, well, I've never thought about this before, but if that's the case, why not have more options for the wings with someone who can score, who can assist? Then we can play that way. We can maybe get a number 9 who doesn't have to have the onus on, and who knows? And then we're like, oh, actually, he's doing all right. So with that said, I would maybe go for a Jadon Sancho because he's affordable. He's not super expensive. For 80 million, we could have Jadon Sancho. Then if you look at our wings, we've got Mane, Sancho, Jota, Salah. So all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's not so. And then maybe exactly. And then maybe there's not so much of an onus on this number 9. We can go and spend maybe a 20 million on someone who might be, do you know what I mean? Like maybe a slightly better than Origi. And who knows what could happen. Also, because of the Euros, Klopp isn't going to have so much time to be able to implement a new style of play. Let's be honest. So why don't we just carry on doing what we're doing with kind of better reinforcements?
That's a good point, Nick. Yeah, it is, because there's not going to be a big pre-season like we'd all like, or we've some have anticipated, You know what I mean?
To start to say,
also a shout out on some signings. I remember when Ox and Keita signed, we all thought they were going to come in and start because there was big money paid for them. But that just developed the likes of Jordan Henderson and Gini Wijnaldum. They come on different strides. They became world class, let's be honest. So maybe bringing in someone, like you said, a winger or a Sancho or someone might get best out of Mane and might even involve the other players. Because I think, and I said before, the front three we currently have, they're not the front three going forward that we've seen or know of, doing that system together. It's a lot of work. We rely on them week in, week out, season in, season out. How long can they do it? And I think this season we've seen it's evident that it's not the front three that it once was. But on the day, they're all world class, but consistently. So, yeah, it could be. It could just revitalise and rejuvenate other players in that squad.
It's made you think, innit? Something different, innit?
It does make you think, because as you said, number 9s, there's not a lot of world-class ones out there that what we need that's really cutthroat, that needs half a chance is going to get it. And if they are they going to come to wars, and are we going to dish out what's going to be asked of them, So I don't know. It's good, though, but I wouldn't be surprised if we did. I wouldn't be surprised if we went big. I know there's Kane out there. He's Premier League experience, one of the best in the business. And I think having Premier League experience says a lot, because you can go for Mbappe, Haaland. They haven't played, and then straight away, that's a big gamble. And they'll cost more as well, of course. So I'd love Sancho at Liverpool, JFC. Yeah, I know he was close to United last year, and there was big money. I know it's cheaper this season. He's had a good season, hasn't he, as well? So it'd be...
something saying to me, right? Something saying that we might go for Sancho and United will get Kane. When in actual fact, I think that we both need the other. I think we need Kane and they need Sancho. But I actually
Sancho. But I think I've said that to someone all right recently, United fan, but I think that would be but we'll see. If I don't think they'll get both, and anyway, they might get one. If we get top four, Saint is fine. And the clip when I said Liverpool will
Trust me,
get
I
top
got
four,
it, bro.
definitely
You and
chanting.
Demo, I got it.
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah, Team Demo's been going on about us getting top four, and I think we were all saying, you have deluded Demo, it's not going to happen. But to be fair, it hasn't happened yet, but at 6:30 p.m. tomorrow, we might know more, and all shall be revealed. And it will be Team Dino. There'll be T-shirts of it. Big shout out to him. So before we leave, Nick, we did say at the start it's only going to be a brief preview of this, and obviously it's me four, so I got through well, I think. Score prediction for tomorrow.
Smashed it. Listen, guys, come on. This is why I wanted this guy to get his channel up, because you can't not love Daz and just that Irish silky tones just talking to you now. I've smashed it. You've absolutely smashed this stream. And guys, please, man, I know you lot have smashed it. So show him, hit that like button, do you know what I mean? And show him that he's onto a good one. Right. So, score prediction. Shout out Bizzo Bond.
4-0. 4-0. I love it. Yeah, Team Bizzo as well, but it's 4-0.
Team Bizzo, man. Right, every single week. I'm jumping on board, man. Fuck it. 4-0. 4-0. Come on.
Okay, right. I'm gonna go. I'll be a little bit more pessimistic. I think 2-0. 2-0. I think, as I said, Klopp v Hodgson 6 times head to head. Klopp has won all of them. We've that card marked. I think tomorrow, last game, we're gonna come out with some attitude, intensity, energy. We have to come out with that determination as a must win. And for Liverpool to be in a final, the grandstand finale last Sunday of the season, it's an unbelievable achievement when you consider all what's unfolded at the club this season. Yeah, I think we do this. I think we've good experience in the last few years of getting the finals and having to get over the line. We really need it the most. I think we do it. But as Stephen Somerville says there, big shout out, Stephen. We've still a job to do. It's not going to be easy. A couple of people saying 2-1 there. Michael Balls, I'm not Irish silky tones, not letting my missus listen in the low the Irish lads. Big shout out, Mitchell. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good way to end the stream. A good laugh. But shout out, Mitchell. And he did say on the earlier comments that he's only new to this, so we might get more comments from him. Remember to subscribe
Mitchell,
over to the Saint LFCTV.
You're a smart man, mate. Trust me.
3-0. Yeah, I'm going to go for 2. So we've 2-0, 2-1, 3-0, and 4-0. We're on. Nick is on Team Bizzo Bond. But thanks for coming on today, Nick. It's a pleasure as always, pal. As always, and we will chat. And anyway, as the season unfolds, and hopefully tomorrow we'll have a trophy of all big ears. We'll be giving them another shot next season. The champagne is out. I've mine on ice at the moment, so I don't be too premature. Yeah, it'd be big celebration. So but remember everybody to like, subscribe, comment, get over and subscribe as well to Nick at Saint LFCTV. I'll see us all soon, and tomorrow hopefully we'll be all ringing around the Champions League anthem. Anfield will be buzzing. There's 10,000 at it. The atmosphere, as we said, we live in emotions. It'd be great to see Klopp back there, Alisson. They've been through a lot this year. All the 10,000 fans in there buzzing and getting behind them tomorrow. And hopefully tomorrow there will be, at the end of the storm, a golden sky. Chat you all later. Take care. Big up. Thanks, Nick, for coming on, buddy. Energy.